Gears modified, ASPC, and a non-IFR certified GPS. The bonus.
So I'm Michael Cummins. This is my RV7A in my workshop. I'm in Chapter 4 and I've been building this for about 10 years. Wings are done, tail is done, the fuselage is almost complete. I'm putting it on the gear, getting ready to do firewall forward and then avionics. The tail is in the attic, the engine's in the garage. They're all wired up as well. All the lighting and autopilot servo in the back, that's all done. So the latest thing I did is actually I put it on the gear. I want to do this. Notice all these tables are the same height. They're designed and built them to be all the same heights and rollable so I can reorient the workshop. Until a couple weeks ago, this airplane was sitting mostly on this table and on the back here, up high, and I'd climb up on the tables to get in. I've just recently put on the wheels, the brake attaches, the axles, the gear, and in fact the front wheel is a half-inch off the ground because there's no engine to hold it down. So the back is, with the padding, the tail is keeping it from flopping on its butt.
Are those machine lifters for the rolling wheel, are those stock? Are those factory?
Oh, back there? No, that's an add-on called Super Tracks that allows me to come back this far, and then it will rise up and go all the way back and gives me an extra several inches of rollaway area. And so that's, anytime you do a mod, it means you're adding time.
Yeah. Is that something you can buy from somebody?
Yeah, you buy it, and then I had to also modify things because even though they have plans to say, oh, it's going to mount on this area or that area, I take a look at where it mounts and how much material is left where they plan to mount it. There are edge distances from materials, from any piece of metal that you have to maintain. If you don't have those edge distances, you have to modify the material to amend it to add those edge distances. So I had to do quite a bit of that on those attaches for those roller extensions. So so now that I got it on the gear, the next thing to do is I'm going to do the gear fairings, which requires me to try to get them to aerodynamically fair those with fiberglass. You can see all that stuff over there. I'm getting ready to put on, and you see all the drawings I'm working from. This is fairly simple, some are more complex. This is going to require me to take some plumb bobs, level it, and take some plumb bobs back to see exactly where the airflow direction is, and then make sure I orient all the fairings along the airflow so that it provides good,
slicing
adherence.
through the air.
Yeah, to slice through the air rather than be sail.
Yeah, but this is going to subtract 27 knots, right?
That's right. My hope is that bump out.
26?
Yeah, that the air won't tumble too much. I might actually attach some yarn to that to see what the effect, to see if the airflow does adhere or not. If the airflow adheres, there's zero cost to that. If the airflow tumbles a little bit, there's probably a half knot of cost to do those.
You're probably not in a laminar flow region right that far back.
No.
Well, people will attach yarn all over the airframe to see where they're getting drag, parasitic drag. And so the airplane is pretty sleek and slippery. That's why all these rivets are all flush rivets, because you're in the 200 mile an hour range of speed, and that's where it can make a difference between having flush rivets and rounded domed rivets. So every single hole has to be match drilled, dimpled, and then riveted. And so it's a lot of steps to each rivet.
Are you going to put vortex generators around
No vortex generators, no. Although I had to use the English wheel to get very small, so there's a little attach point here. So this is actually rounded off in here as well. This is a complex curve. It's not as visible, but that allows there to be sufficient room to get the pins that hold the back of the canopy in. So using the English wheel, I was able to make aluminum do complex curves, which doesn't really
But
want to
that
do.
bump will probably give you the tension it needs to keep this back part
That's what it's doing.
flush. I
Yeah.
mean, it's actually.
That's my theory, is that it's actually providing tension against the fuselage.
Yeah, I would think so.
to
Makes
seal it.
sense.
Same thing how I rounded off this bottom piece. You know, I can't even get a fingernail up into there.
Yeah, very nice.
You do
Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
So in about a century, I'll be able to fly.
Yeah.
I figured you're just delaying the final step until that
Electric.
turboprop engine is ready to.
No, it'll
Put
be
in
electric by the time.
Yeah, it'll be electric. It'll be all solar.
You've already got your engine. What engine are you putting on it?
It's an Lycoming IO360. So it's an aviation engine. It is a factory new engine.
Yeah.
So
I flung behind a note.
it's the experimental Thunderbolt version of it. So they put roller. It's got all the nicest doodads like roller tappets. If that makes any sense to you. Plus they dynamically balance it internally. So I'm hoping for a nice cruise. It'll be 2 electronic ignitions. So what do you think? Building airplanes?
Of course, you know,
Very impressive.
So there are. We had our tech advisor. He and his daughter built an airplane together.
Layers to it.
Actually.